And a good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending upon what coast you live on. Welcome to the Season 2, Episode 1 premiere of Twin Brothers from Different Mothers. We are coming to you from the beautiful Portnoy Gallery in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. I got into an argument with somebody over the weekend about how that's pronounced.
You still don't know it right.
Well, but I'm from the East Coast, Nevada.
I am too, and I get it right.
Well, you already have an accent. Nobody would know the difference. Anyway.
You don't?
I am Aaron Phillips, member of the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, and that gentleman is the best illustrator in the business, nationally recognized, probably internationally recognized. 45 plus years he's behind a marker and smelling those Sharpies, and boy, does that explain an awful lot, Mr. Neil Portnoy. How are you?
I have no comeback.
I know. I stumped him. Yes, Season 2, Episode 1, and I stumped my partner within 2 minutes.
It's all right. I got a whole hour to catch up.
I know. You have a lot to pick on me about, especially my Nittany Lions are crapping it up today. What the hell?
Well, they're driving, though. They're driving with 4 minutes left in the game. Never mind checking your phone.
No, I'm not. I'm bringing the feed up. I'm trying to bring the feed up.
Oh.
So I can monitor Facebook. Anyway, welcome, everybody. Please make sure you reshare the feed today so that everybody gets a chance not only to see what's going on with the bestest and fastest growing podcast, the Twin Brothers in Las Vegas, but our guest today, author, founder of Love Knots, which almost sounds like something you'd find in an Italian restaurant with a salad. Can I have an order of Love Knots, please?
Is that like a pastry thing, like, Annie's, those things they make in Annie's? What am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
They're made of bread.
Pretzels?
Yeah, the pretzel thing. What's
the
that?
knots? They're like the bite-sized ones.
Isn't it like Love Nuts?
I guess
people love those.
I was just going to say, if it like a lot of them, I guess it would be Love Knots, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But this is a very different Love Knots because Maria Romano.
Careful how you say that, because I'm going to have that Freudian slip today.
I know. Thank God we're on the internet, so it's not going to matter.
It's
FCC leaves us alone on the internet, at least for now, anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we want to thank you for joining Maria Romano. She is.
Hey!
I
had to do my one Ray thing.
That's it. You're one and done now, please.
Right.
I don't want to embarrass our guest. She'll never want to come back and see us again.
Okay. She's got her glasses on. She told me she wasn't going to put them on.
Well, that's okay. Well, she can keep them on. She looks very studious with them on.
I won't tell anybody.
She's an author of a book, which we'll talk about, called American Coin. We'll get into that in a little bit. She's Love Knots is also a website, which is about dating and how to get back into the dating scene for whatever the reason. And as I put in the promo, she's going to share her story with us about how she sort of got derailed off the love train. Was that an okay thing that I put out there? Well, yeah, derailed, love train, kind of sorry. I was watching Pawn Stars this morning, and from during the week, and they had train stuff.
Pawn Stars.
That's what I said.
We've got to be careful. This show is about love knots.
Well, maybe that other topic's fitting for this conversation.
There are two phrases that we can really screw up and
yes,
be in
we
a
can.
totally different show.
With a Boston accent and a New York accent,
yeah,
anything can happen on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Why is the feed not coming up on my phone? Why am I not seeing the stream? Anyway, it'll get there.
I'm there.
Are you doing a watch party?
No, I'm there in the stream.
I'm on my page where I'm streaming this son of a gun, and for some reason I don't have the live stream up on my phone yet. Oh, there it is. There we are. Our ugly mugs. Yeah, it is slow, but I'm back on the Wi-Fi here.
I think
so
the mugs are nice looking.
Our mugs. Not our mugs.
Right.
Yes, our mugs are great. By the way, we gave 2 of these away last week at our. But again, I want to thank everybody for coming down last week. And joining us, and all the sponsors and donators and all of you folks who were watching online with us. It was a great time last week.
It was fun. We had a cake, and we had about 40 people here in the gallery watching the live podcast, sharing on the celebration 1-year anniversary of Twin Brothers from Different Mothers. As Aaron stated, we're on Season 2, Episode 1.
Yes.
And let's rock it this year.
I was trying to think of a different way to say that, but I didn't want to say our next episodes. This is Season 2 technically for us.
Yeah.
And out of 52 weeks, we pretty much did, by my calculation, close to 50 shows last year.
If Netflix picks us up, they can press that little button, Season 1, Season 2, Episode whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to make an announcement. We were supposed to be simulcasting live on GoLive.Vegas, and Aaron is out there, the owner, and we had some technical difficulties this morning getting around some router issues. However, he is monitoring this right now, our Facebook feed, so maybe there's something he could magically do and take our Facebook feed and get it out over his network, but we will work on that.
Look at all the people jumping in.
I know, isn't that cool? I can't, all the names are not here except for David Arlov, Aaron is there, Deborah's out there. Who else is there? I can't see anything. It's too far for
Kelly Decker, Wanda Smith, Phil Reese, Debbie Lucky, Veronica Catherine Lodge. Get 4 more names.
I don't want to tell him the secret, but all he really should do is just look on his phone, because the list should be there.
No, it's not here.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe the list was there. Justice Carey. Justice is a great guy. By the way, I got to tell you about Justice. He is a former law enforcement officer. He is Mr. Fabulous Las Vegas. His wife, Kendra Daniels. Actually, Justice, are you listening in Egypt right now? Are you in Egypt? I know you guys just left for your vacation. You're not back. You must please confirm that you are listening on vacation to us all the way in Egypt. His wife, Kendra, singer, entertainer, the two of them opened up an escape. Have you ever been in an escape room? How creepy is that?
Escape room?
Escape rooms. Once upon an escape is their, I think I have it right. Once upon an escape is their new business. But it's one of the, you remember the game board, the game Clue?
Yes.
You go around all the rooms, essentially escape room is sort of like that. Only the goal is when you start, it's like a working maze. You start, you look for clues in the room. Those clues will tell you how to get out of that room to go to the next, and obviously the goal is
to
get out.
The door.
You have to get to the door, not the one that you entered in, but you have to get to the exit door through the clues and everything.
Is it a maze or
sort of? I mean, it's sort of like a maze with doors and clues and rooms and. Oh. So if you like fantasy, they have rooms like Cinderella. They have a lot of they have Hogwarts themed stuff. So it's really it's great stuff.
All these key words. We're doing a dating show, fantasy. And
I know escape rooms, handcuffs.
We didn't mention that.
They might be in the escape room.
Maybe a clue.
Right? Exactly. If they're the tethered ones, what do they call it? With the flowers and the.
I don't know. I've never done that.
I don't know. I read it once. I read about it once. Oh. Hey, by the way, I'm just going to listen. This week's been crazy for me. Today's the 4th day out of 5 in a row that I'm behind a microphone.
I know. I saw your post.
My goodness. If I have a voice after tomorrow, I'll be very happy with that fact. Thank God Monday. By the way, happy Veterans Day to all of our past, present, future military, and all family involved. We thank you very, very much for our service. Actually, on Monday, I'm celebrating an anniversary. Oh, wait a minute. I just got a note from, here we go. You are broadcasting. Were you supposed to be? No, I broadcast on a little more connection on there. So, yes, I know I'm up on Aaron's page.
Hi, Deborah.
33 years ago, come Monday the 11th, I proposed to my wife.
You remember the date?
She reminds me every year.
Oh, I remember it was July 9th because of my sister's birthday.
Well, there you go.
I planned it that way so I wouldn't forget.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. So, 33 years. I remember it like it was 33 years ago. Anyway, and also
my 3 don't equal 30, whatever.
Well, I'm married 31 come January. We met in 86, but I proposed, 33 years. Well, 33 years ago. Yeah.
Being as big as you used to be, could you get down on one knee or?
Oh, I was like this back then.
Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I can get back down on a knee now. My wife is haunting me to want to renew our vows, which I probably shouldn't say in front of our guest. And she's also a minister. So thank God my wife's not coming down to the gallery.
This is the marriage capital of the world.
It is. I know it is. But you see, I told my wife at the very beginning, and I mean this, no offense to you and your multiple excursions down the aisle.
Yeah.
I told my wife, you get me once and that's it. That's it. One time. That's it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, but it took you 3 times to get there.
Although somebody told me a great pickup line, call it what you want, is you walk up to this beautiful woman and you say, you look just like my 4th wife. And she looks and she says, well, how many times have you been married? 3.
Of my 4th wife. Yes, gotcha. As in, it's the new face. Yeah. Gotcha. In timeshare, one of my opening comments in getting to know the people, I ask, hey, how long are you guys married? And they give me a number like 31. I would look at them and say, is that all together? How many marriages? Like, how many years have you actually been married if you total your 3 marriages? Do you want your toes moving too as you're counting?
Yeah, everything was moving.
Oh, God.
27.
27.
Yeah.
So that would be my question to them. How long are you guys married? And they would throw out a number. 27. And I'd say, well, is that all the years together? Or is how many wives or husbands was that? The other question I would say is, and I would turn to the wife first, is he the same man you married 20 some odd years ago? 99% of the time they go no.
No. I was going to say, you get a no from Dorothy.
Exactly. Anyway, welcome. Hey, the only piece of news I want to touch on, and I think I kind of went around this because I really haven't had time to monitor too much.
TC, Tom Cousineau, I got a wave.
All right.
Former player I coached.
Bill Knott, Luke Perry's out there, Andre Nielsen, some guy named Neil Portnoy's watching.
Scott Jansen, happy birthday, Chopper.
Hey, there you go. Salme is watching. Salme, are you back in the U.S. or are you still traveling overseas? Because
she's back. She's back. She was at Chadwick's, I guess, last night.
Oh, okay, good. All right, well, that's cool. So I'm glad they're back on U.S. soil. So what was I saying? Oh, the piece of news I saw last night. Remember the old Marlboro ads?
He died.
Yes, the cowboy who was the Marlboro Man passed away 90 years ago.
Never
Not 90 years
smoked.
ago, 90 years old.
He did not die from smoking. He never
Correct.
smoked. He just had it in his mouth.
Do you know why he stopped doing that?
No.
He stopped doing the commercial. He has young kids at the time. They were like, I don't know, middle school age, maybe early high school. And the son turned to his dad and says, Dad, if you're telling us not to ever, because he urged them never to smoke.
Right, but he was doing the commercials.
And that was the question he asked them. So he looked at them and said, you know what? As of right now, I'm not doing it anymore. He called Marlboro and said, guys, I'm done.
Did he make any money from doing that? Because he was the face of Marlboro.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I mean, he got the gig because a friend, his best friend, John Wayne, hooked him up with a talent agent. The talent agent went up to his ranch, saw him, made an offer to him, and the guy turned around and said, hey, if you come back in 1 week from today, if you're still serious about hiring me to do this,
he'll do it.
Sure enough, 1 week later, the agent came back, signed him, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
All right.
What
else do we got?
I have no idea because I didn't write anything down. You have something this week?
No.
Okay.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving soon. We are probably not going to do a show the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I'm guessing.
Why not?
That Saturday. Oh, because who's going to be around to listen? Everybody's going to have vacation. I mean, we can. It's fine with me, but that's why I said I'm guessing.
Listen, our listeners and viewers are worldwide.
I know.
We know that.
I know. Don't you want a break?
No, I'm having too much fun.
Okay.
I don't want to take a break.
So we'll determine that as we get closer. How about the Saturday between Christmas and New Year's, though?
Look,
I don't even know the dates.
One issue at a time. I don't know what I'm doing.
Is that what your arm says? One issue at a time?
No, it says one moment in time changes everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. One moment at a time.
Yeah.
Yes. I know there's other stuff going on in town. I just have not been in tune to all the local news over the last 5 days with my schedule. It's been crazy. You got something something's going on in town? I'm turning to our guest here. You got something going on? Really? All right, come on up. Let's go on that note. Maria Romano is going to join us here. We're going to talk about. If you couldn't hear her, we were talking about. She said she's going to be marrying some people today.
Oh
and,
gosh, yes.
and of course, as Neil said, this is live, so you're hot and ready to go on there. Welcome.
So hot between you two guys.
Oh my gosh, there you go. I don't have to tell you how to use a microphone. There you go.
I'm telling you, this is great.
So it's so you are. We'll get to the big story in a second, but you're marrying people. Tell us about that today?
Can I just jump in for a second?
Yeah, why not?
Things appear smaller than your side view mirror. She's really not this tiny.
No, she's tiny. She slid back a little bit. Yeah. That's okay.
All right, you want me closer?
No, that's fine.
I'll get closer.
I
showered and I smell good.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Can you smell me out there?
Sorry, this is not smell-o-vision, ladies and gentlemen. This is just view vision.
And I'm not going to smell her on live TV.
No, let that one go, Mr. Neil.
Yep.
All right. So, what are you doing? Tell us about that. What are you doing today? You're marrying people. Where, what, how, who, ha?
Well,
Tell us.
I I am an outside vendor for a few chapels. I started about 10 years ago. I decided I wanted to do something different. My husband and my late husband and I, we owned a car rental company, and we sold the car rental company. And, Frank was on borrowed time. He passed away almost actually 7 years ago. And I was at a wedding at the Las Vegas Country Club. You've been there?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
this woman performed the wedding. I said, I can do that.
Now, do you got to take a course in there?
Well, actually, you go online, you get ordained. So what I did was I did that, got my license. I put together a video. I did a mock wedding in my backyard, and I put that together with the bio and went around to all the chapels. So when I started 10 years ago, my in to the chapels is I will perform same-sex weddings, or rather commitment ceremonies, because you had ministers then, and you still do now, that don't.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I broke in.
Wow.
And this year I'll probably a little under 600 weddings last year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I
Wow.
did, right. But you're working at different chapels, so you're going, I'm going to do 3 at one chapel today, 2 at another. And
how do they find you? How do people find you?
See these shoes? I go walking around.
Pound the
I go to
pavement.
right. That's what I do. I pound the pavement,
Mhm.
and that's how I got started. I don't do a lot of private weddings. I do have services for that. But what happens is you go to the different chapels, you get to meet the different chapel owners, the people that are the head ministers, and they sort of interview you, and you have to audition, and you really know your stuff, because it's a people business.
But there's a number of ministers or people who marry people called, I don't know what the term is.
Officiants.
Officiants, okay. There are a number of officiants in a 2.3 million people city like Las Vegas. Yet it's, as we all know, it's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody here.
Mhm.
how do you put yourself above your competition? That's a tough question.
Well, it is a tough question, but you know what you have to do? It's customer service.
Okay.
That's really what it boils down to. You have to listen to what your customer wants.
It's like any business.
And like any business, there's a protocol with every chapel.
Yeah.
And you just have to be familiar. And again, you have to be open to what the customer is looking for.
Can I make a suggestion for future? Once I get Go Live.Vegas up and running properly, and we can still do this, you should offer having their wedding, live stream back to family who can't make it with the twin brothers there with you.
That would be great.
Part of the package. Why not?
No, because I believe some chapels do have an internet. They have cameras.
We
up,
all do.
right?
Yes.
So they can live stream them somewhere.
Absolutely. Because you have people that get married and they come from all over the world.
Right.
Remember, we're the wedding capital. We do
Yeah.
almost 90,000 weddings a year.
90,000. That number's
Yes,
grown.
it's
Wow.
Well, maybe a little less.
Let
but-
me ask you a question. So couples that want to, exchange their vows, do their vows, call it what you want. They come to you and say, well, this is a poem I wrote. We'd like this as part of our, every ceremony is different. Are you under a time restraint? Do you say, okay, for X amount of dollars, you got me for an hour?
That's probably up to the chapel, I would think.
It's up to the chapel. First of
Okay.
all, usually at a chapel, the ceremony runs about 10 minutes, maybe 12.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's
You're
drive-
locked in the rest of your life.
That's a
You're locked in the
drive-by.
rest of your life.
That's a drive-by wedding.
No, but there's a lot you can say. And the chapels that I work with, this is not the drive-by type of business. What we do is we really work hard on what we put together for our ceremony. My ceremony is very meaningful, and it touches on the areas that are very important. And someone's like, hey, let's face it, you're marrying somebody, at least you hope for the rest of your life.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So that's what's important. So
David, our love is in the chat room. Sends regards to all of us here.
hi, David. He makes us look beautiful.
does. He's
I love
terrific.
David.
We all love David. Let me ask you another question.
Wait a minute.
No,
We're
no,
getting
wait,
too
wait.
deep. I still want to know about the wedding she's doing today.
Okay. So today, I actually right now I work with 4 different companies, chapels. One of them, first of all, is Maverick. So that's a chapel in the air. We go to the Grand
I didn't know
Canyon.
they do that.
It's the Valley of Fire. If you want to do a vow renewal, Aaron,
No.
let's take your
My wife
wife
doesn't
up.
like heights.
Oh,
Honest
okay.
to goodness.
Okay.
He'll attest to that.
Okay. Well,
He'll attest to that.
that right. We wind up flying to the Grand Canyon and we do wedding ceremonies there. We go to the Valley of Fire. That's one client.
You helicopter over?
Yeah, we helicopter over.
I'm not getting in that thing. It's a big
Oh.
bubble in the sky. No.
And you know, it's
I'll
put together.
drive.
There's one nut that holds those propellers. It's called that Jesus nut. You wonder why,
Right. Jesus, keep it up in the air.
Jesus is keeping us up in
Right
the air.
on.
Right?
So I didn't know Maverick does that. That's an
Yes,
interesting
they
twist.
do. It is, and they also do proposals.
You want to start doing marriage proposals here? We'll hire her. We can live stream it as part of the
You don't.
package.
Well,
I
you don't
think
need me
it'd
for
be
proposal.
great.
You don't need me for
No,
proposal.
not the proposal, but the actual
The
ceremony.
ceremony, absolutely. We should wind up. You know what? Maybe towards
Destination
Right.
wedding vows.
exactly.
That's it. Right
See,
here
you
at
already
Portnoy
got it.
Gallery. We
Yeah.
could do it on a Sunday between 12 and a Saturday between 12 and
You
1.
can have your
podcast.
wedding picture taken behind some beautiful artwork
There you go.
as a backdrop.
Yeah.
Now, do you do a lot of like second time, third time around type things? or-
Absolutely. Listen, and
What's
I
the majority?
also, well, I would say right now the average couple coming to Las Vegas,
Yeah.
the last statistics that I looked at, they're in their late 30s.
Which is
Okay.
millennials are
Exactly.
doing that now.
And some of them, right, most of them.
Yeah.
Well, because millennials are not getting married that quickly,
That's
what they're doing
correct.
is they meet each other, they meet you, they hook up right away, they
Yeah.
decide they got to try you out sexually.
Right.
Then they decide to move in together.
Yeah, they buy a house,
buy
they get a dog,
house, then they get a dog, then they have kids, and then they get
then
married.
they get married. Yeah.
Exactly. But you do find that people have been married at least twice.
Wish I had done that the first time.
You're on your third, your last, and you're going to stay there.
Yeah, we have a great relationship.
And look at and Aaron, 33 years. No,
Oh, 31 married, you
31
mean,
married,
Jen.
33 together.
Right.
That's fabulous. No,
It's because
really.
her mother pays me well. Sends me a check
Are you
every
doing
month.
anything special? Can we talk about that
Uh,
on Monday? Besides
Oh, for the anniversary?
Yes.
You mean? For the engagement anniversary on Monday. No, my wife will be prepping for shoulder surgery on Tuesday.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But we're hoping maybe for our 31st anniversary, I don't know, maybe a short cruise. We've never been on a cruise. Do the Ensenada
Cruises are
thing,
great. That's what I
I
did. I
know.
did Ensenada and
the Mexico
Little
part right
Island,
there.
and then
Yeah.
we did.
And see if the captain can do a vow renewal for you.
Cut that out.
Okay.
Thank goodness my wife's not listening.
Eileen, I think it's a tremendous idea.
I
that
think
should
it's
put in
great. I'm
motion.
dying to meet you.
If anybody out there calls my wife and tell her what we're talking about, you're in trouble. Anyway, One of these days, I am going to
He
surprise you.
said anybody out there. He didn't say in here. I'm
You're out
calling it
there
right
because
now.
you're listed in the chat room,
All
so
right.
you're out there and here.
So, okay.
I did tell my wife, though, when the Hilton, which is now Westgate, had the Star Trek stuff, they were doing weddings in there. And I said, I'll do it if you want to get dressed as, Star Trek stuff. She said no. So I did offer.
Do you know what? I believe me, I don't dress up as Elvis. I think I'm a little prettier than he was. He was so pretty. But you know what?
Your skin, by the way, is very pure.
Thank you.
As an artist, I'm speaking.
Thank you.
As an artist.
Thank you.
And a visual person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ask him anything else. This,
Right.
we're talking about love here, right? I mean, we're talking about love knots, and people think, okay, she's in the love business, and we're not talking about love toys in the bedroom, right? We're keeping this clean.
Oh, why not? Anyway, earlier before we went in there, you asked me about my event last night. And
Yes.
the wife of one half, the Torciellos, or the folks who has a child up at my wife's school, she's out there watching right now, and it is her birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Christine. And again, thank you for the opportunity last night. It was great, and I hope you guys get great feedback from the event last night. But thank you for tuning in, man. We appreciate it.
The chat room is not the chat room, but what do you
The
call
watch
it?
party?
The watch party is exploding. Look at this. It's like
Maybe they
900
want to
people.
talk about love, you
Anyway,
guys.
yeah, hey, drop questions. Let me do this. Let's segue. Maria started picking up the pieces of her life and reinvented herself after 33 years in the rental car industry. Maria became a licensed minister in Las Vegas. Over the past 2 years, Maria has also developed another component of her business. She developed a workshop catering to people that have been out of the dating world, helping people get ready to find love again. And that's where Love Knots comes from, right?
That's right. It does. I feel like you're reading my eulogy.
I'm reading what you wrote me, though.
Maybe you wrote your
I want people to remember this is the gal that was in the love business
That's right.
that changed my life.
So you should be the love doctor.
Well, we tease about that.
It's
A friend of
probably
mine-
a registered trademark.
No,
I can't
Bruce
do it.
Marin calls me the love princess.
Oh, okay.
No, but seriously, it's as you know, when you get to a certain age in life, although you've been on your passion, you have been staying
Correct.
on path. I feel like this is really something that was almost like a spiritual awakening for me. Marrying people is really fun, as you both know. You're walking into somebody's world, and it's a life-changing moment for them.
An escape room.
It's
You
like
walk in,
I've done those.
get out.
Those are so fun. The escape room is fun.
Well, can you get the right keys? And the right clues?
Exactly. I don't know.
Anyway, so you guys, you're too funny.
We digress.
Yeah, that's all right.
Very
There's
quickly,
nothing
by the
wrong
way.
with that. But it's when I started doing weddings, I knew that what I said would resonate with the couple for the rest of their lives. And sometimes they're guests. And you have guests maybe that are in the audience and their marriage or their relationship could be crumbling. I mean, there are times in relationships you go through peaks and valleys.
You said the key word. It's a relationship. How do you want to build your relationship? I know with a little experience.
A little.
When you go in, you really don't know, to kind of phrase, what goes on behind closed doors. You may get stories of who they dated, what their upbringing, but you don't know. You need to be that person's friend. And I know in my case, when Dorothy came into my life, my passion was the artwork I do. You've got to accept that and be part of that and want to grow with that. And in past relationships, if I saw a pretty woman walking down the road and I get no conversation, I started doing the magic type thing I did for you. She said, "What are you hitting on it for?" The exes. I'm not. This is who I am. I'm not going to change, especially at my age, who I am. But if it's something that doesn't bother you, something you want to become part of, something you want to grow with and grow old with, am I along the same line? I mean, isn't that one of the most important, if not the most important thing?
It's so interesting you bring this up. I was talking to somebody and I came up with an acronym, every
Sure.
time you go through any relationships in your life. And, I'm still on that dating circuit.
Yeah.
But
How's it going for you?
well, let's change the subject. I got
Chuck
dumped.
Wooler-
I got dumped recently, but that's okay.
Oh, no. Chuck Wooler will be right in here in a moment to help you get set up on the
But
next one.
okay, but there's an acronym. You talk about relationships, and I have this acronym. It's called THRILL. I want the thrill of the relationship: transparency, honesty,
Yep.
integrity.
You writing these
Loyalty?
down, Aaron?
I am. I'm taking note for the next 30 years.
Okay.
No, wait. Transparency. wait. So you guys, transparency, honesty, respect, integrity, loyalty, and love. And those are really the things that are really very important in a relationship, because you're right, it's a relationship and it's a constant work in progress.
Well, you know, the one thing that tricks me up all the time is these kids, these millennials today, we're hooking up. Well, hooking up means something totally different
That's right.
than when we grew up, you know, and it's like there's no fears. It's like we're supposed to do this. We're supposed to get in, you know, and then, you know, we're friends and they're hooking up with somebody else. When did that all change? Was I born too early? Because I would have had a hell of a time.
Well, we had that hippie era, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We got into those love dens, those love circles. It
Yeah.
reminds me of a guy I went on a date on, which is interesting once.
I had two
But
VW buses.
you had two VW, right.
I did that.
But you know, it has changed, and it's true. You're right. Morally, where are we at? What type of moral values are we sending? Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to get married. Some people, they feel that piece of paper to them might not be important. I believe in the institution of marriage,
Sure.
but it's not for everybody else. And I think when you're on your second leg in life, it's so different. Because let's say if you were faced with being single today, what would you do? You have to learn how to break somebody new in. It's like new shoes, right? You got to learn how to talk to them,
Well, I don't
learn
know
what they
that-
like.
I wouldn't want to be single today.
Yeah, you got to learn how to kiss them, right?
Yeah.
And then let alone, oh my gosh, having sex with them.
Yeah,
Woo,
and it
it's
felt-
like scary.
and it
No,
felt-
really, looking at me shuddering.
Well,
Like,
and
"Woo!"
and I'll tell you why. Because on the 20th of this month, 19 years ago, my mom passed away. So my dad, after 36 years or almost 39 years of marriage, had to start over again. And he started going to these bereavement groups. He found a mate, a friend, that they were together for 16 years. So I watched that transition from the relationship he had with my mom. She passed away 2.5 years ago from cancer. So my dad said right to my wife and I were in the pool one day, I don't want to start over again. I don't know what, started to woe is me.
You don't know what to do.
Fortunately, he reacquainted with a friend, a mutual friend that was of his and the prior
Time period.
girlfriend. So they've been, great. So I've seen exactly what you're talking about with my dad.
It
And
happens.
like, I don't want to sit home. He's an active guy at 70 plus. He doesn't
But
want to sit home.
here's the key, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I'll preface it by saying my opinion. We developed routines
Sure.
in our lives with our significant others.
Mhm.
Now that significant other is no longer,
In the picture.
right. It's a statistic opposed to a significant other.
Right.
You start a new relationship. The routine now changes because you don't walk in. You go to bed at night. You don't roll to your left because this person is on the other side. Now, geez, I forgot what I'm supposed to do. You don't feel it as much. I may be totally wrong, but it's like a routine. What's the routine? What's the new routine?
Mhm.
And what's if it doesn't feel right?
That's why my dad did not remarry with the person he met right after my mom, because they were
Yeah.
both, because she had lost her husband
Sure.
like a month or two before my mom passed. They were both set in their ways. And that's why they never,
Right.
that's why they never got married, because they were both such.
What's your opinion on that? I mean, you're the expert here. We're just
We're
throwing
sharing
stuff out there.
experience.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't tell somebody what's going to work for them. Okay. And I think that's important, that when you are looking for a relationship, you really have to identify what you're looking for. Do you want somebody
Right
that's
on.
going to move in with you?
Right
Do you
on.
want somebody that's just, look at your dad. That's a prime example. They didn't wind up. What, did they live together at least, or they just didn't
No,
get married?
they didn't
That's
get
it,
married.
life.
They each had their own I mean, dad would spend time at her house overnight, but they each had their own homes to go to.
Mhm.
They never moved in together. There was talk about it because she had a house, my dad had, but it never,
And you know, it's
they
a
wanted
shame.
their space still.
I was talking to somebody about that just not too recently, and people are concerned, how do you blend lives together? You can. You have your home, right? You have his home, her home.
Sure.
And what do? You have to just, that's the small stuff. If you really want to be together, you want to live together, you want to experience somebody, you want to live with them. Don't you? You want to smell them in the morning. You want to wake up and have them next to you. You want to eat your Cheerios, even though you might not be very happy in the morning about it. You want to go to bed at night and know that you have your best friend there. And that for me, I think is important.
Well,
I like that human touch.
when
I like that.
When I met Dorothy, what happened was, we connected immediately, and wasn't long after that. 6 months later, we're engaged, we get married. But I remember her saying to me, because she had past relationships, a number of them, like I did. And
How
she
many?
said, Last count, I lost count.
Woo.
But you know what? That's an early life, so you can't go backwards. But I remember her saying to me once, "I'm not moving in till 3 years and 1 day." Because of the past relationship, she'd be in a relationship for 3, and then it would die. And now you're searching for love. But she moved in, of course, a lot earlier than that. I had a lot to do with that. But the 3 years and 1 day, I came up with a brilliant idea. I think Dorothy even added to this. She said, "We're going to hire a moving truck and put it out in front of the house. Congratulations, 3 years and 1 day." I mean, nothing on the just, you know what? You got to keep it fresh.
Sure.
Oh, you do.
Got to keep it fresh.
That's so true, because you have listeners out there that are married as well.
Sure.
And it's important you date your spouse. That is so key. And you need to you have to keep it fresh. And that's what's important. So, you talk about people in relationships. So maybe some of your listeners, maybe they can send you some comments, but how soon do you think it is when you get back in the dating world? When do you think you should be intimate with somebody? Is it the first date, second date, third date,
now,
fourth date?
You were married how many years?
I was married 33 years.
Okay, what attracted you to your husband, and what attracted your husband to you?
Well, what
were you looking for?
I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Good point.
And sometimes it's when you're not looking.
Amen. That's how I met my wife.
Right. He was working for a budget rent-a-car corporation. I was working for the budget licensee here. He was training me. I thought, wow, he's a really nice looking man. He's 12 years older than me. Oh, he wouldn't be interested in me. I was 22 at the time. Wrong. He asked me out for a date that evening. We went to a great little restaurant in Las Vegas called David's Place. You two have not been here long enough. It was a great place. Some of you listeners out there might know. And, the rest is history. And you sort of know when you meet somebody.
So you were attracted to him because he was good looking?
No, I liked I loved it for his voice. His voice really, I have to tell you, I just loved Frank's voice. And I felt very safe around him. And, when you're with somebody in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. And as a woman, we do want to feel like we're safe. However, as we get a little older and more seasoned, that's not always what we're looking for in a relationship. And that's why you have divorce today.
What are you looking for as you get older?
As I'm getting older, or what people are looking for?
Because you're available. I'm just putting it out there.
That doesn't mean anything. Okay.
Right,
Actually, no. You know what? Again, going back to the thrill factor, I'm looking for somebody. Today, I think it's important if somebody were to sit down and ask me 20 years ago what I was looking for. It is so different today.
Sure it is.
I mean, today, for me, I'm looking for somebody that has a full life, that wants to integrate into my life, that likes dogs, must love grandkids, got lots of grandkids out there. And also, I enjoy adventure. I'm spontaneous at times. Somebody that maybe, I like the arts, and maybe they don't, but maybe they'll come join me. Maybe they like something else.
It's very funny here, because we were talking off, I threw the joke and said, "You look just like my fourth wife."
Dorothy better not hear that.
No, it's a joke we talked about earlier. But it's funny, because when I first met Dorothy, and immediately attracted to her, we met on eHarmony. We met on a dating site. And she looked at me, she says, "Well, what do you look at when you're looking for a woman?" I said, "I look at two things." And the immediate connotations are, he's looking at my chest.
That's not true.
It's not true. I said, first and foremost, the eyes. Because the eyes tell the whole story. They don't lie. She said, "Well, what's the second thing?" I said, "Turn around and walk away."
On that note, let me welcome everybody who's watching Twin Brothers from Different Mothers live today with special guest, dating coach and minister of love, Miss Maria Romano is here with us. I want to switch gears just a little bit.
Please.
I'm going to save your ass right now, so to speak. Let's talk about your seminar series. It's featured to focus on people that are in their late 40s plus that really been out of the dating scene for some time, and what it may take for folks of that era to feel comfortable enough to get back out there. So talk about your workshops.
It's what happens is when you have been out of the dating scene, like I was 3.5 decades, it's frightening out there. And you meet people too that you're dating, you get to meet them, and they're going through what's known as a boomer's adolescence because they don't know what to do. And that's a phrase that I've coined. I mean, it's because
say it again.
Boomer's adolescence starts to it sets in. The insecurity.
Sure.
The insecurity starts to occur. So really what I like to do is take people through a process. I have a 3-step process that I've developed. And the process is be yourself, love yourself, rock yourself, and then the 4th is a bonus, launch yourself. And you launch yourself, of course, online. Like, I'm glad to hear that you met your wife on eHarmony.
Yeah.
And I marry people all over the world that meet on different websites. So that is the way of the world. But when I started dating, like many of the clients that I deal with, that wasn't our platform. So you have to also teach them what to look for when they're looking at a dating profile.
So are you more inclined to suggesting to use the online services?
I'm suggesting that you use both.
Okay. As a tool.
And really what I'm
Okay.
doing is I'm working with my clients and taking them through a process. They're at a point in their life. You take a moment here and think about, we've worn different hats throughout our lives,
Mhm.
right? When you're younger, your parents tell you go in the backyard, play. You can play whatever when you want. You can you grow up, and then all of a sudden you're a parent, right? And,
In bed by 9.
Right, in bed, you're a
Right.
parent, exactly. Or you're a boss, whatever it is, you've worn that hat. So you get to your 50s and 60s, your children might be, if you're lucky, out of the house. And maybe you're not, well, you might
They're
not be
coming
right.
back.
Right, they're coming back. Grandkids are coming over. You might have more puppies, but that's it. So now's the time to focus on who you are. And that's really the key thing is embracing life, getting in touch with who you are, getting in touch with your passion, and thinking about morally what you want in a relationship, what you're looking for, and be you. Because
Mhm.
when you're aligned with you, that helps you attract the right person. And then the love process too is, again, loving yourself, because we don't love ourselves. And you were just talking about what you look for when you were looking online
Sure.
many years ago, right?
Yep, sure.
What I tell my clients
Changes.
is, you want somebody that looks healthy. Hey, I don't look like I did in my 20s and 30s. And you know what? I'm damn happy. I'm 64. And I tell people that I feel I'm at the best stage of my life. And that's how I like my clients to embrace their age.
Yep.
So if you're going to spend money on yourself, that's great. You want to get fillers, you want to lose weight, eat healthy, and spend money on your teeth. That's where you need to make the investment. A smile, a healthy look.
It is, because what you just mentioned there was a lot about the physical appearance. Is this also, how much of it is mindset though?
Well, I get into a lot of mindset.
Yeah.
Really talk about, I call it dysfunctional detoxing, and you need to shed any. We all have residuals from our past relationships, and you've been married a long time. You've been married 3 times, so we go through that particular process. We go through a process of learning how to love ourselves, and not love ourselves physically, love ourselves. We have characteristics, looking at, well, both of you look like twins, but I'm looking at you and you seem to be the type of guy. That's the math guy. That's the guy that's always
Analytical.
thinking, right? Analytical.
Mhm.
This is the jokes here. So
Yeah.
you work on those qualities, and that's what you enhance, and that's what you focus on when people meet you.
But we're looking, correct me if I'm wrong, what we're looking for today, the single people out there, the people who want to get in relationships, is not what we were looking for.
That's right.
That was the norm that everyone else was doing, because everyone's life changes and turns in different directions. We find ourselves, for probably no fault of our own, in situations that a death came up, a divorce came up, kids, life gets in the way situations. And now we're in a place that none of us want to be alone. We want a partner. Is that a better way of putting it?
That's why Eve came about after Adam. We want a partner.
Yeah, but look what happened.
That's why I don't need an apple
The
anymore.
world changed. But you're right. And life does get in the way.
gets in
You
the
think,
way.
hey, listen, we all think we're going to live happily ever after. And sometimes that does come crumbling down.
My wife and I have an argument all the time about who's going to go first, so we don't have to be alone without the other.
Do you really?
Yeah. We always talk. We're just joking about it, obviously, but you still have this argument. I'm going to go first because I don't want to be without you. I don't want to live on this earth alone. And we go back and forth all the time.
And it's
Not that I
true.
want it to happen,
And you know,
but-
and so there are people that, like you, been in long-term
Mhm.
relationships,
Right.
and unfortunately they have lost their spouse. The same I did. So you have to then, how do you move forward?
Right.
And that is the process, because you're not going to, if you're looking for the same type of person, that's fine. I mean, they have qualities that your wife has, qualities that you really love about her.
Mhm.
And I think that you need to sit down and write what you want in a relationship and what qualities really work for
What's
you.
if you don't know?
Well, that's it. You know what? There's nothing wrong with testing out. That's why it's called dating. You go out with different people to see.
But dating is different today than it was when we
Doesn't have to
when
be.
we
no,
were
it's not.
dating.
Thank
Doesn't
you.
have to be.
It doesn't have to be. It's
Really?
right.
I'd sooner meet somebody personally, if God forbid I ever get into that position. If I'm in that scenario, I'd rather say, hey, you want to go meet for a cup of coffee than do the crap online, because you don't know if the person on the other side is really who you think it is.
Oh, yeah, well,
The catfishing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that happens.
But,
You know what?
but me personally, I'm a touchy-feely, shake my hand, let's go have some coffee and chat. I'd rather do that every day of the week.
But you can do that even online. You can say, let's go meet for coffee.
Oh, yeah, you can make
Absolutely.
that initial.
You need
but-
to, right. And you know what? You should be getting as great to be online. You want to get offline as soon as possible.
Right.
When
great.
you
That's
meet
a
that
great way to say
person
it.
on, you really do. Because when you meet that person, embrace it, go for it. Everything will work itself out. The
Right
problem
on.
is today, even with baby boomers, we think, okay, I don't like this person because they're a little set in their ways, or maybe their political preference is different.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
my
gosh.
God.
Then they'll disown you,
please.
unfriend
Yes,
you, do everything.
exactly. So, open up your mind. Really, and you find somebody that has great characters, go embrace it.
I love the phrase, meet online, get off of it as quickly. I love that.
Yeah, that's
just,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
there's a couple of things left that I want to go over as,
Okay.
as I'm watching the clock. Let's talk about, do you have some seminars coming up, how people get in touch with? Let's talk about that.
Yes. Thank you so much. Well, I do. I have a talk that I'm giving over at Grape Expectations Winery over in Henderson on November 12th, which will be at 7 p.m. and is open to anybody that wants to come, that would like to just talk about love and maybe improve their dating life. And not just their dating life. What I talk about will also assist you in your professional world and your personal world.
Well, you
And-
said something earlier that's key to that whole thing. You got to love yourself.
Oh, gosh.
You cannot be in a proper state of mind to love someone else unless you love yourself.
And that especially, Neil, it's so important.
Did my
at
wife
this
just
age.
check in?
Yes.
Mine did.
Oh.
Mine's right there.
You gave me that look.
But you know what? No, but seriously, and that is so true, because as you get to this age and you get out in the dating world,
Yep.
there's a little bit of insecurity that occurs because you're going to get your ass kicked. Okay. And you better love yourself. And that's why we go through that process.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying you have to suit up with armor. What you have to do is recognize that not everybody's going to love you or like you.
Correct.
And you might be
Correct.
traded in for a younger version, a younger model. I know that. Okay. And I know there are many women out there and men that
Well-
feel the same way.
Let me ask you a question, because you just brought up a great point. You're in the dating scene now, and you have been for a while. All right. Are you finding out that you're much younger than the guys you're dating, even though you may be a little older
Well, I do. But
chronologically?
Numerically.
I think boy toys are great.
Oh, wow.
I'm not joking.
Wow.
You know what?
There's a word I
find-
want to use in exchange for
We're gonna
that going
break-
the other way, but I'm not going to.
We're going to break for commercial.
Yes, we'll be right back
in-
as we cool things off in here.
No, But no, first of all, I believe you should stay.
Because you
within
don't
an
look
8 year-
your age.
Thank you. But you should stay 8-year time, maybe 10 years younger, right. And there are men, I'm not going to say that I do meet, that do look older. And they're
Act
only older. Right. Hey, guys, you
mature.
out there, if you're listening, you know what? You are young. And people say, well, I'm getting old, and I'm waking up in the morning with aches and pains. It's a state of mind.
I always say you're not growing old, you're growing older.
That's right.
More experience.
And more experience is so true. Definitely.
Are you writing down a shopping list? What do you
No,
know?
I'm writing down her information for Tuesday, so I don't forget
Tuesday,
it.
yes. It's,
Not that
and
I'm
also,
going, but-
and they can, of course,
I think-
contact me on my
I think
website.
you and your wife should go.
She's recovering from surgery that night.
Yes.
Oh, then
Can't
she
go.
should definitely go.
But you know what? I'm also launching an evergreen workshop that people can buy if they want to just take this and, in the comfort of their home.
Mhm.
It's inexpensive. It's the 3 parts that I talked about. Also, the bonus is the launch yourself, which helps you too. And I'm so excited about that. I'm part of the baby boomer generation. So computers were really introduced when I
Sure.
was in my late 20s and 30s.
Mhm.
And now as today, here I am. I mean, so thrilled to be on your show.
Commodore
Podcast.
64, 128.
Right, exactly. And then, today is different.
Atari, only game you knew at that
Right.
time.
So if people want to take this particular workshop, that's great as well. And one thing I talk about is you need to date yourself. You talked about loving yourself. You need to date yourself.
Website, you started going that way. Give them the information where people can find all this. good
Okay,
stuff.
it's www.loveknotslv.com.
K
Is
N
it KNOTS?
O-T-S.
Okay.
Yes.
KNOTS,
Like
right.
tying the knot.
Right. It's
Yeah.
time the Celtics used to tie them on the sailboats, and that's how they knew they would come home again to their love.
Right on.
That's right. I remember that.
Loveknotzlv.com. Put
That's
the K
right.
in there. Few minutes I want to spend. Do we want to put her in the hot seat?
Okay, let's go.
Do you want to put her in the hot seat
I'm
first?
in the hot seat. I'm next
Do we
to
wanna do
these
it?
two guys.
Do you want to do that first and come
I'm
back to this?
perspiring. Okay.
I'm just going to let it keep talking. I feel like up here right now. We have a segment of the show where
Oops.
we put you on the hot seat. We give you
Okay.
a little
Rapid
questionnaire.
fire.
It's called
Oh,
rapid fire.
I just had this conversation with somebody. Karma is getting back at me.
This has nothing to do with any future relationships you may be in, but it may add a little bit to it. Aaron's going to ask you a number of questions,
Okay.
but here's the key: don't think about the answer.
Rapid
First
fire.
response that comes to your mind,
Okay.
let it come out.
Ready?
Are you ready? Here we go.
Favorite all-time actor, TV or movies?
Richard Gere,
Favorite all-time actress?
Annette Bening.
That's one we haven't heard
No, we haven't
before.
heard that one before.
Favorite all-time movie that when it comes on your TV or cable, you drop everything, get your popcorn, and you're in front of your set.
So easy. Pretty Woman.
That was
Great
just
movie.
on, as a matter of fact,
Great
this past
movie.
week.
Yeah.
Favorite music genre?
Jazz.
Favorite all-time song that when it comes on in your radio, you don't mind embarrassing yourself to sing to it?
I'm digging right now. Share My Life by Kem.
Okay. Here's the key one. Favorite curse word? We're on the internet. You can say it if you want.
Fuck.
There you go.
You know what? You just hit the 99.9% of people that do that. That's the word they use.
Oh, my goodness. If money were no object, what would be the dream car you'd like to see parked in front of your house?
An Audi.
Okay. Mine would be the Batmobile, but that's me. Best vacation ever taken?
I went on a safari to
Really?
Africa.
Really?
Yes, to Kenya. I loved it in Nairobi. It was
Nice.
absolutely life-changing.
Wow.
Bucket list vacation where you haven't been that you want to.
Oh, please. I have to go to Paris and have somebody propose to me.
Now, that's probably the most romantic thing people think about, right?
Well,
Go to a
wait,
place like Paris?
Time out. Don't go to the next question.
I'm not going to.
When, I'm not saying if, when that moment does come, you need to let that person know, if they don't already, having experienced time with you and learned about what your likes and you should do it. Just do it.
Let's hope they're not afraid to fly.
Well, then
Yeah, that would make it difficult.
they wouldn't be with you, because that's one of the things
You're right.
that's important to you. Travel.
Absolutely. And you need to always stay true to yourself.
Absolutely.
Favorite meal, top to bottom?
Lobster with some champagne.
Any
Champagne.
anything before the lobster, like an appy?
Don't go there.
I like ceviche.
Okay.
Who's he?
He was an artist, wasn't he?
Did he play shortstop for
I
somebody?
was
But we can
somebody.
do oysters and talk about love.
Yeah, that's right, because that's an aphrodisiac.
Tune in next week right here on Twin Brothers from Different Mothers. Favorite thing that you like to do to relax?
I actually enjoy meditating.
Okay. Favorite Las Vegas-based themed thing you like to do to relax?
Why did you look
Las
at me?
Vegas.
I can't help you on that one.
Let's see. I like to just people watch and sit over at the Venetian.
Okay.
That is one of my favorite things.
Typical Las Vegas thing that you like to do in town with all the things that there are to do. What do you like to do in Las Vegas
Well,
that's typical?
Listen, I'm Italian. I love to eat and drink.
Okay.
So I enjoy going to all the different restaurants we have in town.
My mother's house?
Your mother's house.
Well,
Well,
not your
place-
mother's house.
Yes,
Not your
I've heard
mother's
of that.
house.
Yeah, in Sun City, Mike
Mike
Leonetti.
Leonetti.
Yeah.
That's right. I've heard it. But I'm talking about, he said Las Vegas, I'm or the Strip. However,
Oh, yeah,
I
it's fine.
do like Eat or Las Vegas because they tell you about all the new
Right.
restaurants
Yeah,
coming
sure,
in around town.
If one of your friends' family is coming to Vegas, what is the one thing you typically tell them that they must see and do when they come to Vegas?
Well, you
Besides
have-
coming to Portnoy Gallery.
well, of course they have to come here. Actually, the thing that I think is great is going to Hoover Dam. And even though it's in Boulder City out in that area, that is incredible. Think about how many people, how many hours, what the engineering was like to put together.
It's an incredible
It's like a
journey.
seventh wonder, right, of
Yeah,
the
it really
world.
is.
So that's what I tell people to go do. I was in the car business. That's what we did. We wanted to get in a car.
And
You go
go-
see
and
Red
go,
Rock.
right?
You go see all that stuff, right?
If you were not doing what you're doing today, what career would you have liked to try?
I would think psychology.
You're kind of doing that now.
That
I
was,
am, yes.
that
But-
was my-
but with the PhD, maybe.
that
That's
was
all.
that was my major.
Oh, really?
One last question. Aaron Phillips or Neil Portnoy? Just kidding. I don't know.
Where the hell did that come from?
I
don't know.
plead the
It's-
fifth.
I have no
I
idea.
plead
I
the
don't know.
fifth, everyone.
Twins. What do I know? Twins power. Well, Maria, that officially knocks you off the hot seat. You did very well. We like a philosophy, you know, we talk about all this business stuff and we have guests and ideas, and we just like our guests to know that people behind their work stuff, that we're people too.
Right.
And we have a lot of fun with that, just having people see that our guests are people, you know.
So
Plus, it's good for your dating profile. But anyway,
once again, let's revamp the contact information. How
Yes.
can people talk to you? What do you got coming up for seminars that they can get involved with? All that good stuff.
Well, I do. If they want to reach me, they can go directly to my website, www.loveknotslv.com. It's LOVEKNOTSLV.com. Message me, Facebook me. I'm available. Private message me. I'd love to be able to see how we can collaborate on your dating life.
And if they're coming to Vegas and they want to do their nuptials,
Absolutely. You know what? I would love to listen. Like I said, it's so important to help people with their nuptials, but I'm just so honored to be part of people's lives every day.
you know, it's
Every
funny,
day.
And I'm going to rephrase it, talk about it. But when I was 14 and lost my mother, a very emotional time, and people have during their lifetimes, you know, things that they want to keep inside, but it's much better if you get it out there. I wrote a poem, and I wrote it down once. I was 14 years old, and this year, the great Bill Fain, Clint Holmes' former conductor, put it to music, and made Dorothy and I both cry when we heard it in a song. But it's your tree of hope lingers with age through days of thought were put on stage. A stage of hope where life can't die. Climb onto that branch, reach for the sky. But tear down that tree in a deed of hate, so will end your tree a destined fate. I sit alone atop the hill to think my past alone at will. I myself have tried to be what in her eyes she wants to see. Be a success and make me proud, and up I stand into the cloud. Sky's the limit, what's in store? Nothing left but an open door. Now, I was 14 when I wrote that, and I added a couple different phrases.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful, and in a song, it's really powerful. I guess where I'm leading that towards is that one moment in time changes everything. You know, love yourself, get a partner, be with a friend that shares not only you as an individual, but you and your passion, and always share each other's passion. It makes that relationship much stronger.
If I could just add to that, you know, the people say they don't know if they have the time or they're not ready. Well, first of all, love has no
Make
age
the time.
limits. Make the time.
Make the time.
And wouldn't you rather be prepared? You know, the great Roman philosopher Seneca said about luck, right? Opportunity meets preparation.
Correct.
Preparation meets opportunity. So don't wait to the right time. Make the right time now.
Isn't it strange how that, you know, deja vu, we hear that deja vu all over again. That,
Oh, yes.
Right? But things happen for reasons, you know, and case in point, I had somebody come here to the gallery last week. Aaron, I didn't tell you this, from Worcester, Mass, where I lived my entire life. He was in a radio business. He worked in all the towers for the radio stations. Hadn't seen him in 25 years. Walked into the gallery. Ricky, what are you? Well, I'm in Vegas, right? He comes in, he buys a print, he buys another print. He brings his friend in. The next day, his friend buys a print. I get a text from his friend 4 days ago. Passed away.
which one, Ricky?
Ricky passed away.
Wow.
He had a blood clot that went to his brain.
Oh,
Now, whether that was caused by flying, and I'm looking at Dorothy and I said, he was supposed to come to the gallery.
wow. Crazy.
You know, you don't know. There are opportunities for all of us out there. Don't ever, you know, I'm all about the kids. Aaron, you're all about the kids, and kids are the future. Kids are the whole thing. But you know what? The more you give people, the more you share, the more you open yourself up, it's going to come back to you tenfold.
Totally agree.
Talk about the book.
Yes, we have
never
a
got
couple
into the
minutes
book.
left. American Coin. So yeah, the byline, a true story of betrayal, gambling, and murder in Las Vegas. So let's talk about that for a few minutes.
Tell us about the book.
Well, the book was written by my late husband, Frank, and actually it is a true story. We were the fourth largest gaming company in Las Vegas in the late 1980s. And it was the largest cheating scandal that went down in the history. So I am the daughter, sister, and wife of all three partners.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. And
Wow.
yes, yeah, it's very profound. And the book is based upon how my brother and father manipulated the programmer to write a video poker program that actually changed the outcome of the hand that was dealt to you. And somehow the gaming control board had somebody, they looked at the chip, they came in and closed the coin company down because of the chip was an unapproved program and it was intentionally manufactured to cheat the public, or so they said. There's a lot in the book. There's a lot of content.
Anything ever proven, or did anybody
Right.
ever serve any time for
Well,
this?
this is so interesting. The programmer
Yeah.
was killed. And
By
Yes.
Hillary? Never mind. I didn't say that. I
Wow.
didn't say that.
Send your comments to Neil at.
actually, the programmer was killed by a gentleman here in Las Vegas. And that gentleman was hired by my father and his stepmother, who lived back. They moved out of Las Vegas. This is true. I can't make this stuff up. I can't. And Frank and I stayed. We picked up the pieces. Frank, for many, many years, really tried to redeem himself, and he fought. We actually went to court quite a bit. We won in bankruptcy court. We against my father and my brother.
Wow.
You know, but in the long run, you know what you can do with a judgment? You can just put it on the wall. And because of that, Frank had a heart transplant. He had a heart attack, heart transplant, stress, but he was able to live 15 years, and he wrote that book. And who knows, the book could eventually be a great movie one day.
And the book is called American Coin, A True Story of Betrayal, Gambling, and Murder in Las Vegas by Frank Romano.
Didn't I say that already?
And you can get that online on Amazon.
Yeah, it just, it's Dorothy and I last night, we sat down.
By the way,
always
she's
watch-
now in. By the
Oh,
way.
hi, Dorothy.
Just give you a heads
Hi,
up.
honey. HGTV, we always watch at night,
Uh-huh.
but last night the Amy Fisher story was on.
Mhm.
And of course, being from New York,
Long Island.
Long
living.
Island, everything came back to Dorothy. I remember this. And we just were riveted to the TV about, this whole thing. And,
I've interviewed Mary Jo Buttafuoco.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And, she got shot in the face and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
But knowing, if you were to look at her today,
Yeah.
modern medicine and everything
Oh, yeah,
else,
the
you would not
plastic,
notice.
you
But she
didn't
still has the bullet, though. They can't remove it.
it's in her neck.
Yeah.
It's in her neck.
Mhm.
But it put the dots and the T's and all that
Mm-hmm.
all together. It seems like, not that I'm making a comparison, but that American Coin is that type of, why wasn't this ever made into a movie?
Why wasn't it? Let's put it out there.
Hello, movie producers.
Hello.
Because to
Jeez.
me, and I haven't not read the book. I'm not a reader. My wife would read this and she'd love it. But it seems like this is a perfect movie.
Yeah, almost like a murder mystery, but even though we
it's
kind of
got
know the
everything.
answer.
It's got all
And
the-
actually, you know what? Today it changed the gaming world, it changed gaming compliance, and it also talks about, think about moral ethics and business ethics. So
mhm.
there's a lot that you can take from the book.
Real quickly, we only have a couple of minutes left, but I have a question. You mentioned this before we went on the air. Do you do a podcast?
I don't yet.
Not yet. You're working towards one?
I think so.
You've never done one?
No, I've done one. I've done podcasts as guests.
No, but I mean hosted your own.
No,
Okay. Who's working you? Where are you going to?
I haven't even thought of it. I'm just trying to get my Evergreen workshop
Gotcha.
online, get that going, make some money from that, and then I can now parlay into it romancing with Romano, right?
Well,
Okay.
my partner does
Right.
instruction in the setting up.
I train,
That's what you do.
produce. I have studios at my.
It's great
so
to know.
We'll talk.
Absolutely.
My people call your people.
Well, there's that New York connection again. Forget about it.
Hey, I got
Let's
Frank Collada in my phone. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all right. Listen, we're just about out of time. The quarter's about to run out of the meter.
It's
Just
we do these shows. We've done it now for a year, and we always look down on our watch, going, "Where the hell did that time go? That hour flew by."
I had so much fun.
Who's in there?
Meredith Ellen Gordon.
Right. We're working on it. Yep.
Favorite. So okay, she says yes. We are working on her hosting one. Well, Meredith, I'll talk to everybody as well.
She's my virtual assistant. And hey,
Wait, is that the one that contacted me originally?
yes, and you know
hi,
what?
Meredith.
Not VA, but those people that serve, all of you out there in the
Yes.
military, God bless you. We need more
Absolutely.
people like you. You keep us safe.
Great. Meredith, you and I will get in touch with each other.
Closing thoughts. I'll say it this time
Go ahead.
because it's starting to come out of your mouth.
I know.
Closing thoughts.
The closing thoughts for me is that, you know what, life doesn't have to end because, your life doesn't have to end for you because other things change. There is a path. Keep living until you yourself are 6 feet under. Just keep living life. There's opportunities there. So, and check out Love Knots, because just spending 45 minutes with Maria this morning, if this is bottled up what her seminars are, God, to see her do her thing would be great.
It would be great. I agree.
Your thoughts, sir?
Well, she's single now. She told me so. They can reach you at 1-800. What's
1-800 call me?
Notice I didn't say 900 because that you get trouble
that's
with
wrong
the
connotation.
Wrong
there.
connotation.
So.
But listen, there are people for people. If you love yourself, that's a starting point. I always say I'm a foundation person. If you don't build a good foundation, no matter what level you put on, you're constantly making corrections to keep it level. A good foundation, your first level will be on top of a good foundation. Your second level, it takes time. At our age now, what do we got? 20, 30, maybe 40 years? Who the hell knows?
I'll put you over 100 if you go 40 more years.
I'm going to
Me
be
too.
there. I'm going to be there. Trust me. Bald guys look a lot younger than they actually
Very
are.
true.
As you know.
Yes.
I thought I'd throw that in.
Thank you.
Every day, live it till its fullest, because you never know. You never know. Life can change in a heartbeat.
You just said the story about your friend that came in.
That's
You
right.
never know.
You just, that was freaky.
I want to have Maria on next month,
Okay.
because I think your topic is very important. But we all know that the winter time for people does very crazy things to
Sure.
people, because it's dark early and all of that.
Yep.
And I think getting out and being with people is important, especially if you're by yourself. So I'd like you and I will talk. I'd like to set up another time for you to come on next
Absolutely,
month,
I'd
and we'll
love it.
chat about those sort of things. Because there's other things on your list we didn't get to, like ideas to go out and do this stuff. So I want to get more into that, and I'd like to make this. I'd like to do it again in December.
And we talked a little bit, my wife Dorothy does a great thing here at the gallery called Sip, View, and Paint. And I could see the steam coming off your head going, wow, that'd be a great networking event to be able to put people together, that you're not under the pressure of, hey, what do you do for a living? Hey, you want to go out tomorrow? It's the type of thing that you're doing an activity.
Mm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, a relationship, if you find things that you have in common, you can keep the stuff that you do differently, but things that you have in common get you closer together.
Absolutely. Final thoughts before we say goodbye.
Well, you guys have, first of all, have been great. And the thing is I just want to tell people out there, no matter what age, no matter what size, you definitely deserve love. You're worthy of love. And you know what? Don't sit in your chair. Go out and find love, and not just love romantically. One thing I tell people is go out and spend the time and tell people that you love them, that are in your life. That is so important. And I love you too.
Thank you. We love you.
We love you as well.
It starts every morning when you see that face bounce back at the mirror that you're brushing your teeth in. That you got to love that product.
I always go,
I know, it's because I look up and I see you, so I kind of have the same thing when I do that. Anyway, get the twin thing. Anyway,
it's over your shoulder.
Hey, have a great week for everybody. Hey, next week, join us. We have actually a Hollywood type legend joining us next week.
Who's coming this week?
Tema Hammond. Listen to this. Her father was the stand-in for Chaplin.
Oh, really?
Interesting story with that. But she also built studios in California. She was very instrumental in building a huge 60,000 square foot studio here in Las Vegas. That's just off the strip. She's launching a network in January geared towards 50 and over. And which might be something for you to talk about because of your goal, your target market. And she has a, improv group that performs up in the Sun City, Summerlin area that I've talked to her about, that maybe I might dabble in a little bit with. So,
well, somebody once asked me, because, I do the caricature show, and I'm literally Don Rickles with a pen. You do not want to sit across from me. I mean, I had a lady, I was at a national trade show. She sits across from me, and I looked at her, I says, now tell me, what the hell color hair would you like me to give you? Because obviously you can't make a choice.
Jeez. So that's who our guest is next week. Look her up on Facebook, Tema Hammond. So come on down next week. If you have nothing to do, join us. Of course, stay right here on Facebook for next week's show. Our links will be up within the next 24 to 36 hours. And when you get them, please share, because this woman has a very important message to deliver to everybody. And please make sure you share it and check out the book, American Coin. Hey, thank you for watching, everybody. Happy Veterans Day to each and all. Have a great week from all of us here at Twin Brothers from Different Mothers. See ya.